Բարերիս հայրն է շարունակվում Փանարմենյանի ուղիղ եթերում եւ արդեն մեր հյուրը տաղավարում է, իսկ ես արդեն պատրաստ եմ նրա հետ խոսելու։ Այսօրվա մեր հյուրը Ըլայզան է, ով հանդիսանում է յոգայի մասնագետ եւ մեզ հետ եկել է կիսվելու յոգայի գաղտնիքներով եւ թե ինչպես կարելի է կյանքը դարձնել ավելի հեշտ, ձերբազատվել սթրեսից եւ իհարկե լինել ավելի երջանիկ։ Դրա համար շատ բան պետք չէ անել եւ բոլորն էլ ունակ են զբաղվելու այն ամենով, ինչով որ զբաղվում է Ըլայզան եւ կյանքը երևի թե ավելի թեթև դարձնել։ Good morning, Ëlайза. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you for joining us this morning. I always see that you are very positive and I always get this good energy from you. Is it always like this?
No, not always.
No. So but you managed to keep it up like that.
Yeah, well, yoga practice is all about self-awareness and there's different tools to use to kind of monitor your energy and your flow, and yoga is really about living at the highest vibration, so I'm practicing.
Good. So let's talk about your journey in yoga, because as I am aware, it wasn't in your life growing up. So you recently started doing this. So tell me about your journey.
Yeah. So, well, I grew up like most kids in America, concerned about boys and shopping and didn't really have a spiritual practice in my life. And when I was 15, I did yoga for the first time and I felt something very special, and I investigated it more and started to work with a mentor in university to teach. And then I recently went to India, and I've been very active in my practice and teaching since India. And I did a training in India, and then I was actually able to stay and teach at the school to people from all over the world.
Right, so let's talk about what is yoga with your definition, because people might have different misconceptions. People think that yoga is just a fitness. Some people think that it's a religious belief or practice. So what is your definition of yoga?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yoga has very many meanings, and to me the main purpose of yoga is to illuminate the soul. So it's the mind-body connection, and it connects us to our highest self and that of the universe. So again, living at our highest vibration, being this light energy within ourselves, and how do we tap into that, whether it's through the physical practice of yoga, meditation, different practices within it. Yeah.
So do you think that every single one of us is capable of actually getting all the benefits from yoga, or you have to have this spiritual, be in this different level and be different to understand the meaning and essence of yoga?
No, I think I was a kid at 15 and I felt something unique, I think that actually people are probably experiencing it all the time and don't call it yoga. I think it is, personally, I believe that everyone has a soul and that we're all meant to be this light. So yes, of course, everyone has this innate capacity, and it's just how do we practice yoga.
How did yoga change your life?
Yeah.
What do you feel daily that you can say that this is what yoga helped me to achieve, or this is how I am right now?
Wow, there's so many benefits. I think mental concentration, calmness, and physically feeling good in my body. And then there's this voice within me, I think maybe it's the soul, the highest self, that when I practice, I can hear that voice more so. So I would say those three things are there's endless things about it, but just every day knowing that no matter what's happening in my life, I can go to my yoga mat and I can practice these tools of meditation and everything else to brighten my day and bring that to others. I think also teaching is such a great service, and that brings more of my own light out, when I'm able to be of service to others. It higher my vibration, so yeah.
Let's talk about the practical steps of actually starting yoga. Do you think, how long does it take to be able to call yourself a person who actually knows about yoga? So does it take months, years of practice?
Yeah.
And also, when is the best time to start, if there is such concept?
Yeah. So you can practice anytime. There's no time to start. Right now, you can. People watching can do it at home with us, anywhere, anytime, and you don't have to have any capacity, because again, it's all within us. And
Okay, so Eliza, you also have a new project that is called Lumiere. So tell us about that and what's the purpose of that as well.
So luminaire means to be a light, a guiding light, a role model. And for me, everyone can be that. The practice of yoga can bring us closer to that. And so my blog is an influencer blog, being the luminaire, and having others kind of be inspired by that and sharing other people's stories that are also along that path of being this light.
How are you getting inspired? Who is inspiring you, or what is inspiring you?
That's a really good question. Honestly, I think my own teachings, my own practice, deepening in my own practice. So it's really from within, asking questions. So this idea of individual investigation of truth, I'm constantly just doing research, and the internet is such a great source. So practically applying principles that I have been taught and seeing how that changes my life. So really just my experience and investigation.
You said you were recently in India, so I'm interested to know about your experiences and what did you see in India that maybe you're not able to find it here in the busy and sunny LA?
The first thing that I think of is monkeys.
And a lot of bananas, maybe?
Yes, I got attacked by monkeys a couple times, especially when I was teaching privately outside along the river. So
okay, well, you're good now, so nothing happened.
But honestly, one of the most beautiful things about India, and you notice this right when you get there, is the people. When people look at you there, you feel like they're looking into your soul. And here, it's not that deep connection. It's like people can read you so well, and they want to. You know, it's just very authentic and connected. It's a way I can't really explain, but it's very, just you feel like in a natural environment, you know, like at a deeper level of yourself. And materially, there's a lot that they do not have that we have here. So I had ants in my bed. I shared my room with a mouse. What else? You know, just little things of
that taught you to be maybe more authentic and real and earthy.
Definitely.
Which is a great practice too. So physical activity is important, but nutrition is maybe one of the important aspects of a healthy lifestyle. So what are your views on nutrition and healthy eating habits?
Yeah. I believe that nutrition is so essential to our health, and our physical fitness, 80% of our physical fitness has to do with our nutrition. So even if you work out a lot and you're not eating the right foods, you're not gonna lose weight or be healthy or even feel really healthy. It's more so about how you feel in the body when you eat healthy. So I eat a lot of greens, a lot of natural foods, and I feel good, you know. Most of the food that's in the supermarkets has MSG in it, and it has a lot of effects mentally and physically on the human being that are not very healthy. So I think just being conscious of where you're buying your food, what you're eating, and as authentic, as natural, like right off of the tree as you can, you know, is really is going to be the best bet.
So you're not afraid of fruits, of so-called carbs that people might be afraid of?
No, carbs are energy, right? So it's like right now, my mom would always say this, she's a trainer, and she says that we either eat as a drug or we eat to fuel the body. And food is really meant to be food. Food is really meant to be fuel. So it's energy. Literally the calories we're taking in, it becomes a part of us. So we want to use that to its capacity, right? So if we're overeating, again, a lot of the foods we see today in the supermarkets don't have any nutrition, really, you know. So knowing that you have nutrition in your food, and then that's the energy you need. So complex carbs are great. Fruits are carbs as well, right? So you can get proteins from a lot of vegetables. So I am a vegetarian, and people say vegetarians, where do you get your protein?
Of course, we get our protein. I'm vegetarian too, so high five for that. Yeah, and that's a very great practice, I think, too. Just it clears your mind as well. Being vegetarian is not only about healthy eating as well.
Totally.
It's a different path. And
energetically, totally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we are actually waiting for you to show us some movements, some yoga practices. We're going to do that after the commercial break.
Great.
But would you be able to let us know what would be, the general information for people to know before actually practicing it with you?
Yeah.
What are we going to do today?
I would say the most important thing to focus on is the breath and just feeling present in the body. So no matter what the pose is, don't worry about doing it perfectly. Just be present in the body and try your best.
Great.
Yeah.
Գովազդային կարճատև դադարից հետո մենք կհանդիպենք, որպեսզի Էլայզայի հետ միասին արդեն փորձենք յոգայով զբաղվել։ Եթե նոր եք եւ երբևէ չեք փորձել, ապա մի վախեցեք եւ կարծում եմ, որ Էլայզան կկարողանա այնպես անել, որպեսզի բոլոր հարցերի պատասխանները եւս ունենաք հենց ձեր առաջին practice-ի կամ առաջին փորձի ընթացքում։ Այնպես որ գովազդային կարճատև դադարից հետո չենք փոխում հեռուստաալիքը։
Hi friends, so today we're going to do a quick 5-minute practice. You can do this in your home, just on a carpet or a mat. You're going to sit in a comfortable seated position, either cross-legged half lotus like this or full lotus. Cross-legged is totally fine. Bringing your palms to your knees, you're going to inhale, bring your shoulders up, exhale, sigh, and bring them down. And just do that a couple times. And then keeping the shoulders back and down, just take a minute or two to focus on the breath. So focusing on the sensation of the breath, this is called Anapana breathing, the area just above the upper lip, below the nostrils. So again, just starting with a minute, 2 minutes, you can build up the practice, but this activates the deepest part of the brain and reduces stress and helps to focus the mind and body, which is all about yoga, which is what yoga is all about, mind-body connection. So once you have this breath, you practice this breath work throughout the practice. We're going to begin with pressing into the palms and inhale, lifting the chest, finding length from the navel to the chin. Exhale, release and round it out. Inhaling, opening up. And exhale, rounding out. So feeling the movement in the spine here. One breath, one movement. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, opening. And then just bringing the arms up overhead. And then we're going to cross them and inhale, lifting open the chest. Inhale again. And then elbows come out into cactus. So again, chest is open, finding length from the navel to the chin. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, dropping the palms in front. And then just walking the hands forward. Release the head. Deep breaths here from the belly. So you're breathing into the back of the ribs. Opening up the lower back and just allowing the upper body to sink down. Walking the hands back into the body. We're going to bring the feet out. And then the knees behind us into a tabletop. So here, you're going to feel your palms pressing into the ground just above the elbow just above the shoulders. Knees are hip distance apart and feet are in line with the knee, so 90-degree angle. Dropping the belly, you're going to inhale, lift up the chin. So this is cat-cow. And releasing, inhaling, opening up. So it's the same thing that we just did, seated, but this is the full posture. Inhaling, opening, and then curling the toes. We're going to lift up chest to thighs for downward dog. You can walk it out, bending the knees, switching the hips. Shoulders are back and down, making space between the neck and the shoulders. Inhaling, looking at the hands, step or hop the feet together. Inhaling, halfway lift, finding length from the hips to the crown of the head. Exhale, release down. Inhaling, stretching up tall. And hands into prayer. So we're going to inhale up, exhale down. Forehead to shin, inhaling halfway left. Exhale, step or hop back. You can bend the knees and drop them down if you need, or full plank into chaturanga. Inhaling, upward dog. Exhaling back, downward dog. So you can go through that flow as many times as you want, the stepping or hopping forward, inhaling, halfway lift, exhaling, forehead to shin, Inhale, pressing into the feet, lifting up the hands and hands into prayer. And then inhaling, reaching up, dropping down halfway. Stepping or hopping back, coming back into a tabletop. Hips to heels and just stretching it out into child's pose. Taking a couple breaths here. Last thing is just coming onto the back. Bringing the knees into the chest, rolling it out. This is a really nice massage for the back. So just moving the legs back and forth and then releasing legs down. Palms open in final resting pose, Shavasana. And then you can stay in Shavasana for as long as you want. And we generally end our practice in Shavasana. So that's a very simple flow, starting with a couple seated positions, going through the flow, and then finishing in Shavasana.